stuff I internalize and I have to deal with because people are assholes, you know. What up, y'all? And I'm back with another video. Going into the verse jar and picking out a verse of the day. Let's see. Let's just pick out pink. Got this on Amazon. All you gotta type in is verse jar, and you can get Bible verses in the jar and read them day to day. Okay. The Galatians, I don't know how to pronounce that, don't come for me. 5:18. Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Jesus Christ. In Christ Jesus. Yeah, it just means that basically, a lot of us as human beings, sometimes we'll have points in our life where we go to Him when we have problems, or don't even go to Him at all. But think about it. Would you want somebody just coming to you when they only had an issue, when they only needed you? You go to Him every day in thankfulness and humbleness, because there is something that great God does for you every day. And even if you don't see it and feel it, He does it because you're here and you're living. And even if He didn't do it for you, He did it for someone you love, which you can count for yourself because you love that person, these people, your family, your friends. He is constantly working. So it's important to have stewardship, and it's important to constantly be grateful. You have something to be grateful about every single day. That's how I take that. Okay, now getting into the video. Do I sound from London? I love when Nicki Minaj does her, is it called the London accent? British maybe. A spot of tea. I don't know, but I really just love it, and I really want to perfect it. But anyway, okay, so, and the videos are gonna start to get a little bit more fun and interesting soon. What comes to mind right now is a lot of topics that I write down and do these sit-down videos. So make sure y'all support these sit-down videos. I haven't really been in the mood to do like a cooking video or a vlog or none of that, but it'll surface. But the last vlogish type of video I did was my daughter's birthday. So make sure y'all watch like the surprise that I set up for her every year at home, and the little footage of me getting the stuff ready for her school, for her classroom party. Those are things she loves to do every year, so we always do it, and I always take her out in the month of January. The weather be iffy, so sometimes it's not the week of her birthday, but in the January month. So this month I will be taking her out. It's still her birthday month. Today I'm recording this video is January 23rd. I got my calendar on February, but it's January 23rd, so we'll still be going out before the month exit out, even to go get something to eat. That's my daughter's favorite thing to do. Is eat. Anyway, so I saw this online, and it was just some pointers that really implement. I want to reach out to my moms who have special need kids, because that's a audience that I can speak to, because it is my experience, because I'm a special need mom. For those of you who are more newer to the channel, 37. I can't believe I just told you my age. But 37, I'm a mom of one daughter, beautiful daughter, 13, autistic, nonverbal daughter, right? So I said I want to try to implement more about talking about autism on my channel. So, okay, so here we go. So I found this online. It's the hardest things about being a special needs mother or parent, right? So we're going to discuss the first one. You feel alone or isolated. This is so true. It is so many different points in my life where I feel very alone or isolated. You know, for me, I have had a great support system around me and my daughter. When I do hang with people or hang with family members that I choose to be around, it's nothing but love. Their kids towards my kid is nothing but love, you know what I mean? And I really appreciate that, because dealing with outside people, there's a lot of looks, there's a lot of stares, because my daughter makes a lot of noise because she's nonverbal, so that's her way of communication. And people will look, people will stare, you know, it catches people off guard, and they just will be now all into my space looking at me. And people already have a staring problem, so it's just kind of like, I don't be feeling it. Yeah, back to, it gets lonely, and you could tend to feel isolated, because even the people that do treat you well, you just feel like you don't want to put too much on them by you know, the things that your child do. I think it's called, the correct term for it is stimming. I'm gonna look it up and post it right here, stimming, and they just do certain things of comfort, and then when they're aggravated it's to level 10, when they're happy it's to level 10, and all of it requires a lot of energy from a parent. If you're a parent of a child that doesn't have special needs, you know it's already a lot. So imagine a child with special needs. You know, they express themselves different. They're very smart. They're beautiful kids. They're just like the other kids, but they just think different and they just react on another scale. If that explains it. If that explains it well. Yeah, sometimes I can distance my own self because it's just like, I just want to be bothered with me and my daughter and our situation. And although people will try to understand, which I appreciate the people that try to understand, because that's so beautiful, because they care about me enough to understand. Nobody really knows firsthand unless you have a autistic child or you are personally raising a child on the spectrum. But I feel like God gave me this special gift, and He gave me this special strength to take care of her. And I always ask God that, and I hope that I am doing well with the gift that He entrusted me with. So but yeah, you can feel like you don't want to be bothered, because even to go out, there's a lot of things I take in consideration of her comfort. There's many different things. Like for my daughter, she won't use the bathroom everywhere. You get what I'm saying? And it's just her comfort. So my outings will usually only be 2 hours long. I try to keep in mind that obviously I'll have bathroom access wherever I go, but she's only usually comfortable at home mostly, or whatever like that. She only be at home, and she has my sister's house, and then she at school. You know what I mean? Sometimes she don't even want to use it in school. So I try to keep that in mind, that before we go out, I make sure she use the bathroom, and then I only be out like a 2-hour frame, so that just in case she's purposely holding it because she wants to be home, she doesn't get aggravated and frustrated because we're out so long. So it's so many things I have to keep in mind, and you kind of have to be a psychic for the nonverbal kids, because you're always wondering if they're okay and this and that and the other, because my daughter has a lot of random crying, a lot of random agitation, and sometimes I don't know where it comes from. Next, I would say worrying if you're doing enough. That just leads perfectly into what I just said. I'm always worrying for the most time if I'm doing enough. Sometimes I'm very satisfied, but I'm always worrying if I'm doing enough, because I always try to put myself in her shoes and just be really thinking like, if I could not speak, what are the things I will want someone to check on to just make sure these things are good? So sometimes I just randomly try to do extra things or other things just to make sure that aspect is good. You know what I mean? For instance, when she's in pain, I see she's very agitated. I can't tell where from. Yes, she has a communication device, but she doesn't always want to use it. I can't make her use it. And she knows how to point to her body parts, but she will just repeat what I'm doing. Like basically, if I say, does your head hurt? And I point to my head, she'll just point to her head. But if I ask the same question, or is it your arm? She'll point to her own arm. So she's just following what I'm doing. She's not really understanding the depth of the question. So yeah, you're just always wondering if you're doing enough, and then you feel bad. Sometimes you could be depressed because you really just be like, I want this person to be okay. Like I'm in charge of them being okay to the 10th power, because they cannot speak for themselves. So yeah, that can be a load to carry. Another one says you fear the future. I don't really think I want to use the word fear the future, because growing with God means to step the fear aside and try to step into faith. So I don't even want to practice I try not to even use that word like that. But I will say that you think about the future. Right now, that's where I'm at with it, because it's kind of like, for instance, as my daughter gets taller from the back and we have on winter coats, people will probably think that's like my sister, or you just won't know. You could think it's like a adult, because she's 5'1", I'm 5'2". So, you know, she's not in the little kid height anymore. She's in the 7th grade. So, besides people in New York being very angry, okay, and just very impatient. For example, I'll give you a real life example. I was in a grocery store, and you know, I'm moving a mile a minute when I'm taking her with me, and I'm just trying to make sure she's right next to me and safe, but also not in nobody's way. But it's the store, people are rushing in and out. I'm doing the best I can, but I'm being very like, she's right next to me, but I'm also picking something off the shelf. And you know, I look in people's face and I see the instant aggravation of person because they're just kind of like said excuse me one time, and I didn't get to move her in time for the first excuse me. So while they were exactly saying the second time, I'm like, so now I come this way. But you could already see the instant aggravation because from the back, and seeing her coat, number one, they don't know it's a child. I don't know if that'll make a difference because people are just miserable. But number two, they're most likely assuming that this is an adult that they're talking to, and not that they from the back are thinking that they're talking to an adult who is not paying attention and just in their way. And mind you, if she was just an adult or even somebody that's not on the spectrum, sometimes people, they can't move as fast as what you're asking them to because they're distracted and trying to shop too. So that's why, like New York, I want to get out of here because people are just so miserable. Nobody has patience. You know, you really try to hold on to the handful of people that are kind because everybody's just miserable. You know, it's deadass.com, 10 boots. Like, everybody's miserable. So I could tell, you know, and I'm assuming, like, look, he probably think he's talking to an adult that's just not even listening to him. Little do he know, like, when people say excuse me to my daughter, she doesn't understand what they're telling her to do. You know what I mean? She doesn't really understand what they're telling her to do. And from the back, if you're talking to her from the back, she don't even know you're talking to her, first of all. And then she doesn't really understand what does that mean to do. You understand? So, yeah. So, back to what I was saying. So, to continue to what I was saying, it just makes me think as she get older and older in an adult society, you know, people already aren't so kind. Not everybody is so kind and so patient. And it just leaves me on guard for the future and just dealing with people in different environments. If I'm still in New York, hopefully I'm not, but in different environments, and them just being so nasty and so impatient, you know. But you can't avoid outside, and you can't avoid the world and life, so it is what it is. Wow. The way I wrote this list, one goes into the other, and it piggybacks off of what I just said. Learning to accept your child delays. You see how I just told you there's certain things she doesn't understand the depths of. Like, there's things she do understand. Like, say, for instance, I'm in my home, and I'll say, get your melatonin gummies. I'm saying it as I point in that direction. She knows the name because it's been said a lot of times, and she knows exactly where they're at, and it's a routine. So she knows where to go, and she knows to get it. So she's very smart, but there's certain things like in a regular environment and stuff like that, like this, like if I tell her something very specific, she's not gonna get it. For instance, I can't say get your melatonin gummies, open it and take out 2. That's too much. My girl is just going to pass me the melatonin gummies, which I'm so proud of her for. My daughter started out when I found out she was on the spectrum at 2 years old, and she wasn't even making eye contact. Like, you would call her name. You know, babies start to know their name, and they'll at least look at you. And my daughter had no eye contact, so she came so far. So I will let nobody make me ever regret being this beautiful child's mother, and I will never let nobody ever regret me doing the best that I can, because y'all don't know me, and y'all can kiss my ass at the end of the day. But I don't want to get into it with people, so it's like, if it's not something dire or something super disrespectful, I'm used to the looks, the laugh, the giggles, the immature shit, but if it's not something super disrespectful, then, you know, I just let it go. Or if we're not in danger, you know. Wait, I'll give you a live example. For example, I was at the bus stop yesterday because I took I have to do the transportation when my daughter's bus para is absent. I was at the bus stop, and you know, my daughter does stuff in a repeated way. If you know children, if you know any parents that have children with autism, or you have relatives with autism, one of the characteristics that a lot of them might have, they do things repeatedly. Like, they'll see a child fidgeting, or they'll, like, my daughter will take like an item and throw it a lot or something like that. But anyway, I've been teaching her how to cover her mouth, and that it's important to cover your mouth. So she gets it, but now she plays around with it. So she doesn't really use it when she really has to cough. Now, what I can't get her to stop doing, she forms into habits that she thinks are hilarious. No matter how much time I tell her that this is a thing you need to do and this is not a joke, it's not funny, she'll still do it. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if I take something she like, I take the phone. Please don't comment with no advice with this. She'll still do it. You understand what I'm saying? So she forms into habits, and then some of them just die to the wayside after a while. But anyway, her new thing is coughing. Fake coughing. And when I say fake coughing, I'm not meaning that she's coughing for fake, because obviously she knows how to make the cough sound, so it's technically a cough. What I'm saying is that she doesn't actually have a cold, but she walks around making the sound because she knows I told her to stop. That's one thing she also does too. When she know I don't want her to do something, she does it 10 million times over. So she'll cough, and she'll cough out without covering her mouth. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Walk to the bus stop. So as soon as we get there, so now I make her sound, she goes like that. And the lady that was there moved immediately, which is fine because you don't know the situation, and even if you did or didn't, you ain't gotta want nobody coughing on you. You know what I mean? But had she would have stayed, I would have said sorry about that. My daughter's autistic; she make noises, but that's no excuse. It was a cough, and her hand wasn't covered. You know, it happened so quick. I apologize, you know, wherever you were standing there. You know, I'm not going to walk around apologizing to anybody, but I would have said that to her. But anyway, she moved, and she quickly went to the group of the rest of the people she was with. Now, my problem wasn't her moving. My problem was the grown-ass, one of the people she was with, grown-ass man she was talking to, literally going to sit there and be like, he tried to talk on the low, but you know, I could hear. He was like, oh, I know why you moved. Started making and mocking the cough sound my daughter was making. Now that's where immaturity comes to play. I don't mind a lady moving, whatever you want to move, whatever. It look like you've been coughed on a good few times in your life, so it is what it is. But I don't mind the fact she moved, but it's the fact of the grown-ass man you're with mocking my child. Now, whether you know she's autistic or not, or just even a regular person in general, why are you mocking the sound she makes? We're in close range, so I know you can see as a child. You don't know the situation, but why are you mocking a child? Like, and then you're trying to be low about it. I heard everything he said, so I turn around.
You gave him a death stare.
Because I just like to let some people know, I heard you, bitch. Like I said, if we're not in danger, if it's not something dire, like to where I need to speak up, I let shit fly. And this is stuff I internalize and I have to deal with because people are assholes. You know, and they're making fun of my daughter and they're mocking her or laughing or whispering and stuff like that. You would think people know that people are special needs in this world at this point. Special needs and people with disabilities is not something that was invented yesterday. You would think people know and have compassion and this and that, but obviously people is still whatever they are. So whatever, but yeah, that's a live example. Lastly, there will be a lot of highs and a lot of lows, which piggybacks. This list is perfect because one thing piggybacks into another, from the first thing I said into the next thing I said. Okay, there'll be highs and lows. There'll be days where you can really enjoy being with your child, loving your child, and then some days, I'm not gonna lie, you'll just probably be like, oh damn, why did they have to have this condition? You know what I mean? Because there's so much stipulations and preparations you have to do to spend a day with them or go out with them, or even if you're just in a house, just mentally to prepare. Like my daughter, she's very, very needy and very, very physical, meaning that if she's very happy, she's physical. If she's sad, she's physical. She's in between, she's physical all day long. You know, she taps me all day long, you know, to show me things, show me what she's doing. You know, she wants me up under her, you know, all day long, and she wants to like show me that what she's eating. She wants me to watch every bite. Like she is very, very, very needy, and I know that's due to me because I'm very, very loving. You know, I'm the only parent she's around, so I'm very, very loving, very, very comforting. So I know I sheltered that in her, but at the same time, that is her personality as well, and for being around such a person of comfort. But it can be a lot because sometimes I've had a long day and I just want to enjoy my TV show. You know what I mean? So people think that stay-at-home moms are not tired. I'm fucking tired. I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm tired. We have a full-time job, and then when you're a stay-at-home mom and you are a full-time parent and a special needs parent, I don't care. You don't tell me or ask me why I'm tired. I will hang up the phone on you. Yeah, there will be highs and lows physically. Like I told you before, them growing and people just getting more rude because they'll just look at them like, this person is so huge and they don't get it, and they look at the size of a person and the height of a person. But a condition is a condition. She'll be autistic through adulthood as well, but people are just, and they also get stronger and louder. You understand? Like my daughter's little voice that still was very loud when she was little only got stronger and louder, and her physically got stronger and louder. So remember, they're human beings, so if they get very upset, you know, they use their physical strength, and it's like she will always be younger than me. So that's something to keep in mind. That's something to keep in mind to place in at-home care and stuff like that I need to figure out and do, because yeah, as she got older, it only got harder. But I hope this video was helpful to anybody that is a mom, or even a special needs mom, or if you have family with special needs and you truly care about their situation and you want to hear from another person's perspective. Sometimes it hit different, and maybe if you can be there for them a little bit better and check on them, or you're just interested to know, watch the whole video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if I taught you something new. Let me know if I said something that was interesting, or just chat with me in the comments. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Share the video. Bye, Steph.